Okay, so welcome to our weekly Team B call. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Today is a Friday, October. Oh gosh, I've lost it. Is it the 22nd today already? It's the 22nd. I think that's right. Am I right about the date? No, it's the 24th. How have I lost 2 days? Anyway. So it's Friday the 24th. I hope all of you are rounding up your Team Classic numbers and are getting close to having all of your Success Club points in for the month in order to get your T-shirt that we're winning as prizes for hitting our minimum of SC5 during that. So if you have not hit your goals for the month, I highly encourage you getting with your partner and figuring out what needs to happen to hit your goals this month. So let's get into today's training. Oh, before I do, I'm going to make one quick announcement for any of the Team B women and You Deserve Fit women. We are having a birthday dinner for Miss Jill at PF Chang's on Thursday the 30th next week, and whoever's birthday's anytime around the time too, we can all celebrate each other and celebrate you. But bottom line is we are having a girls' night out dinner next week. Christmas, I promise we'll have a team party at my house and everybody will be invited, but it's just girls this week. Sorry. Okay, so let's exit my full screen view so I can share my desktop with you. Because today's call, we are going to be discussing finding and connecting with new prospects. This is definitely going to be great information for new coaches. I know we have all veterans on the call right now, but I really, really recommend you get your people to plug into this. So welcome to the Team B All Hands Call Friday, October 24th, 2014, and today we are talking about finding and connecting with new prospects. I'm going to share with you my step-by-step system of what I do all the time without fail. Number one key to finding new prospects is put your phone or computer away and connect with the people in front of you. You know, I was just talking to Trisha about it on her KPI this past week, as far as her girls were starting to be involved in a new gymnastics group and so on, where she doesn't know the people. So I can understand where back when the boys were in Taekwondo, it was really easy to go and use it as a time to work. Go and sit down and just like get lost in your messaging. But the bottom line is we are in a relationship business, and so we have to build relationships with people, and you don't want to be constantly sending the same invites to the same 200 people that are your friends on Facebook. So when you have an opportunity to connect with people in person, connect with them. So where do I find prospects? You find them all over. Jacob's beautiful graphic goes up. The gym, the grocery store, the park, kids' activities, church, any social activity, day job, play dates. A name you might recognize that she is a coach on our team. She's not technically a working coach. She's a discount coach, but Cameron she's a girl on our team, and I met her at Aqua Kids. We literally, our kids had, I think, 2 makeup swimming lessons together, and we met there. Let's see here. Any social activity. I know that there are people that, kids activities again. I mean, Jill and I ran back into each other at the little gym, and I met Ann and Trisha at the gym. So, I mean, you always have your eyes open and your ears open. I know Jill met Trishelle at the gym years ago. They were both members at the same gym, and they became friends. So you just never know who you're going to meet and where. And also, say, social activities. That's kind of been one of the reasons why I've been going and plugging in to different conscious dance groups, because every time I go dance with a new group of people, even though we're not talking on the dance floor, you're sharing each other's energy, and you can notice by the way someone moves and the way their body expression of whether you're attracted to their energy and if you would like to get to know them. And so then afterwards, I follow this process that I'm going to share with you today. 8-step intro process. This is my system. I hope you use it. Number 1, I meet someone. The first thing I say to them, are you on Facebook? I'd love to stay connected. And 99% of the time, people say yes. The only time I ever have people say no is if they are of the older generation. So when I say older, I mean, I think the majority of us on our team are somewhere into the late 20s into possibly early 40s. I don't know if there's any, but maybe there's a couple people in their 40s on the team, early 40s on their team. But say like my parents' generation, they're not on Facebook as much. Or the younger generation where they are just on Instagram, or maybe they're on Twitter or so on. But generally, the majority of the people we are going to be attracting are going to be on Facebook because they're of our similar generation. Do you have your smartphone on you? 99% of the time, people are going to say yes. Let me find myself on Facebook for you. That right there is the trick. I'm not going to lie. That right there is the trick. The reason why is if you say, hey, I'm Aubrey Warren, and let me find you. Let me find you. So say if I didn't find myself on their phone, if I found them, then I'm going to get home and I'm going to think, oh man, what was their name again? And then I'm going to be racking my brain to remember who they were, or I'm going to have to go make a note in my OneNote or one of my note-taking tools on my phone. But at that point, you're writing their name down again right after you got off the phone with them, or right after you found them on Facebook, and then you're kind of stalling, and then at that point it can be kind of a little bit sketchy. Well, why are you writing my name down somewhere? What's going on? So that's the trick, is let me find myself on Facebook for you. Because you've already asked them to pull out their phone. They have their phone right there. Well, let me just find myself. Here's another part of the secret sauce. Don't accept the friend request until your scheduled work time. I know many of us are very tempted as soon as you get that friend request, accept. But you go and you accept it and you're in the same spot. When you sit down to work later and you want to invite them or do something like that, reconnect with them. Who is that person again? Who is that person? So you don't accept their friend request until your next scheduled work time. And at that point, you add them to your prospect list in whichever manner you are keeping track of them. Maybe you're a pencil to paper girl or boy or man. Sorry, girl just comes out of my mouth. Maybe you're a pencil to paper person, and you're following maybe a system like Amanda's that she presented in the Rockstar Presenters call, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Or maybe you're a spreadsheet person, but however you log, add them to your prospect list. And then you send them a message. It was so great to meet you at blank. I'd love to know you better. What's your story? I use that every day, all the time, and it is amazing by just asking that simple question what people will share with you. If they do not know what you do, if they don't know that you're a fitness professional or that you're a Beachbody coach, they might just share with you random details. Like, I'm Aubrey Warren. I was born in Missouri, and I moved to Texas to go to TCU. I've been married for 10 years, and I have 2 awesome boys. Maybe that's what they would say if they just really thought you're just trying to get to know them as a friend. Or if they know that you're Beachbody, maybe they've gone and they've already looked through your page and seen health and fitness stuff and so on. or maybe they know you from the gym, or they just know of you already. At that point, they're going to like open up and they're going to share. Like, I've really let myself go over the last couple years, and they're like going to give you the information that you want. Now, only every once in a while, probably maybe 10% of the time, I get a reply that says, I'm an open book. What do you want to know? Or, something random like that. And so at that point, I'll literally just message them back and say, you heard of Cliff Notes in high school, right? Give me your Cliff Notes of who is Jill Donovan. And then at that point, they'll go into that. Or maybe at that point, you just really start asking them questions one at a time. How old are you? Where are you from? Do you have kids? Are you married? You just really start digging into them and their personality. So it depends on how, what you want to do. Honestly, I hate the back and forth. I'd rather them write me a paragraph as far as stuff is concerned. So it just depends on if you're like sitting down at your computer and you have time to go back and forth with someone, do whatever works for you. Once the prospect responds, send them a message. Wow, thanks for sharing. And then insert your own short personal story. I literally have 2 stories saved in my desktop. One is called, literally saved as my Cliff Notes story, and the other is saved as my spiritual Cliff Notes story. Why have 2 different documents? Because I'm a hippy-dippy spiritual chick, and that is one reason why certain people are really attracted to me. But that part of my story might be something that completely repels another. Okay, so I don't want to, I propose myself as more of a fitness and wellness coach to people who say I just met at the gym, or people who I just met at the park, or my new neighbors, those people who I don't feel like being completely vulnerable with right from the get-go. But people who I met at a conscious dance or a chanting session or, ecstatic Saturday, where I know the majority of the people there are not of the stereotypical demographic that I would find in Texas. I send them my spiritual story. But both stories end with, Shakeology has been a game changer for me. Have you heard of it? That's what every single one starts with. I tell them a little bit about me, then a teeny tiny bit about my fitness journey, and then the line that comes before that is, though, I'm super passionate about helping people who are ready to find wellness in their lives through the use of movement, nutrition, and spirituality. Have you heard of Shakeology? Shakeology has been a game changer for me. Have you heard of it? So that is a great lead into your next step. So you need to decide your follow-up options from that point. So if they reply back by saying, no, I haven't heard of Shakeology, what is it? Maybe you share a Shakeology video with them. Maybe you offer them a sample. Maybe you invite them to Shake and Share. Really, you have to gauge it based on how much information they gave you in that first message, where you met them, and the level of comfortability with them. Because, like, say, for example, someone who, anybody, I would be willing to introduce them to a Shake and Share. But there are certain people who I may not feel as comfortable maybe sharing a Shakeology video, but some people who I would just want to offer a sample to, because some people are going to be more apt to go based on what it tastes like, how it makes them feel, than just the information. So you just really gauge it based on each individual person. Maybe they're not interested, or maybe they're working with another coach. So maybe their reply might be, yes, I've heard of Shakeology. I love Shakeology. I've been drinking it for such and such years. Now, please don't assume anything at that point. You need to ask them who their coach is. because I ran into this specifically this past week. Amy Walker is a new coach on our team that I signed up, or maybe it was last week. I signed up last Friday. And this was the situation with Amy. She's one of my yoga students. We were going back and forth for a while. We were just talking. I think I messaged her about the ultimate reset maybe 2 years ago. And she told me no. And randomly talking to her via Facebook, I found out that she was drinking Shakeology. And so I just assumed that she was Amanda's coach that she was Amanda's customer, because her and my prospects cross over a lot because we teach in some of the same gyms and we have similar social circles. So I may be going and prospecting someone only to find out that they're Amanda's client, and that's okay. But I asked her, it's who is your coach? And she's like, I think his name is Ron or something. I'm like, you don't? And I messaged her back, you don't know your coach? And she's like, no. She's like, my husband bought me Insanity and Pio a while back, and it came with some Shakeology, and I fell in love with Shakeology. And she's like, a guy messaged me once telling me that he was my assigned coach, but I really didn't want to be bothered by him, so I never replied. And my response to her was, I'm not interested in necessarily stealing other people's clients. However, you've been a student of mine for, I think she's been a student of mine for 6 years. You've been a student of mine for 6 years, and you're right now giving commission every month to someone that you don't know and that you don't want to have a relationship with. Would you be interested in giving that commission to me? Literally said that. I'm like, if you really don't want to be bothered by a coach, I won't bother you. I'll leave you alone. And she was like, absolutely. I wouldn't mind that at all. So I literally sent her the exact information she needed to do about sending the email to Coach Relations, just to be requesting to be switched over to another coach. And then I sent her information okay, you can probably sign up as a coach for free because your husband got you Shakeology and Pio and Insanity, so you probably bought a challenge pack, right? She's like, oh, no, we bought them separately. Oh, okay, you bought them separately. So here's your choices. You can eat, because she decided she wanted to save money on Shakeology, because I offered her, well, you can pay $39 if you want to pay less monthly after your first bag. And she's like, well, that sounds like a great deal. So after she said that she was willing to pay $39, well, how about, would you prefer to just pay a couple bucks more and get Combat on top of it? Because Combat Challenge Pack is on sale currently for $140. Oh yeah, that sounds like a great deal. So literally going from someone who I had assumed originally that she was Amanda's customer, now I have a new coach on my team and 2 Success Club points from her because I just continued asking the questions and just continued the conversation. Okay, so just continue the conversation until you get a definite, I have a coach that I love that I'm working with. Cool. End of story. Case closed. Or you might want to invite them to a challenge group and start the 5-step invite process. I used to go back and forth, just so you all know. Whenever people would say, no, I've never heard of Shakeology. What is it? Then I would send them maybe a question like, if I sent you a 3-minute video explaining what it was, would you watch it? And then they would say yes, and then I'd send them the video, and then I'd have to go back and forth. Did you watch it? Did you not watch it? Blah, 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 blah. And so what I've started doing recently that I've been finding that works is when they say, no, I don't know what it is. What is it? I use that as a lead-in to start the 5-step invitation process to invite them to a challenge group. So this is my line, and you might want to write this down. So if they say, no, I don't know what Shakeology is, what is it? I say, it's a tool, it's a wellness tool that I use in all of my nutrition and fitness accountability groups. I actually have another group about to start November 3rd. Would you like some more information? And that's it. That's it right there. It's a tool that I use. It's a nutritional tool I use for all of my accountability groups. I actually have another group about ready to start. Would you like some more information? That is such an easy invite right there. And it was natural and it was organic. And then they can tell me yes or no at that point. So then I start the 5-step invitation process. And always, 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 always keep records of your conversations, because you may have someone that told you, yes, I know what Shakeology is. Actually, this just happened to me the other day. Yes, I know what Shakeology is. Actually, I ordered Brazil butt lift a couple of years ago, and I hated Shakeology. Well, I found out that it was a couple of years ago before, the formula has changed since then. It tastes better. It's different. But point being is, some people, when you go back to contact them later, maybe something has changed with the business. Maybe they tell you that, they can't do something now, but they might want to do it later. So just always keep records of your conversations. And that's it, guys. That is it. I am going to take everyone off mute to see if anyone has a question or has anything they want to discuss while we still have 5 minutes to spare. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, shout outs, anything? Or you just want to go have happy hour because it's Friday? That's Eric. I can already tell. Eric's waiting for his glass of wine. No, I'm joking.
Glass bottling.
Hey.
Huh?
Hey, Aubrey. This is Brian.
Yep.
I want to say thank you for the compliment, but I qualify for the mid-40s. So what you were describing with, 99% of the people you talk to are on Facebook, I would say it's something like 50%, because the average person that I'm talking to is between 45 and 55.
Okay.
And, so the Facebook penetration, y'all are very lucky. In the 30-somethings, you're very, very lucky. Because, Facebook just does not penetrate as well in the older folks.
Brian, and you know what was funny is when that age range came out of my mouth, I had a little light bulb go off. It's like, I remember at the bar after Ann's diamond party, I remember Brian and Reagan telling me how old they were, and I remember that I was surprised by their age, but I couldn't remember if you were in the 40s or if you were like 39 or something like that. So, well, you age very well, my friend.
Well, thank you.
And I apologize that not as much of your demographic is on Facebook, because I do understand that has to be a little bit more challenging in the connection process with people. But do you ask for people's email addresses?
Absolutely, and that's it's not so much the contacting and the keeping in touch with, because that works through through email real well. Where I find the struggle is with the challenge groups, because the challenge groups work so well in Facebook, and yet, they don't. These people aren't on Facebook, so their challenge groups never work.
Yeah, I hear that. And actually, what I've been realizing too here recently is, and this is a completely different, it could be a completely different call where we play around with this, but I just want to share with you something that I did this past week. A lot of people avoid Facebook too, because I haven't ever experienced this, but a lot of people feel like bullying is very rampant on Facebook, especially people who, I'm just going to say it, people who I've encountered who really let themselves go and who've gotten really overweight and hit the obese point, and they getting harassed by friends and family members about taking care of themselves, or even they don't want old friends from high school to see how much they've let themselves go, and so they're ashamed in essence because of it. And so there's a coach on our team who's underneath Jacob who falls into this category, and I finally just said to her the other day, I said, to realize I can't help you the way you need to be helped if you're not willing to get on Facebook, because my organization is big enough, which yours might not be at that point, but eventually it could be. My organization and the people that I coach and I work with is big enough that it is not time effective for me to coach in any other way but in the group format. It's not time effective. And so if you truly want the most out of your money, the most out of the experience, and want the best results, you need to set up a Facebook account so I can help you in this way. And I don't care if you use a fake name. I don't care if you don't put a picture. I don't care if you use your Facebook for anything except for checking into this group. So I can help you. And actually, Jacob's cousin she's signing up for Facebook this weekend because she's now been a coach in she's now been with me since midsummer and just isn't having the results because I'm not calling her and I'm not texting her every day because I just can't do it. So you know, it's up to you, Brian, but if I were you, if you have people who really, 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 really need your help, I would just really tell it kind of just, but bottom line is like, this is the way I run my groups. This is the way I can help you the best. And if you want the best help from me, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, I think I'll try that again on the next round and see how it goes.
Yeah. But I know specifically my dad would have been a great candidate for a coach, but my dad didn't sign up as a coach, which I'm really bummed about because he didn't want to be on Facebook. So, you know, you can't get through to everybody, but he's also in his 60s, so that's even a different category. But anyhow, I have a hot date I got to get ready for. We're going to Dallas and we got concert tickets. So I love you all so much, but Mama's got to get into hot mode. So y'all have a great night, and I love you, and I will talk to y'all next week. And for the girls on the team, we'll see you at PF Chang's at 6:30 on Thursday night. Night. Bye-bye. Bye.
See you, Aubrey.